We must find the third acolyte.
Welcome back to Lords of Shadow 2, and in today's episode, we will find out whatever happened to the Transylvania twist.
Thank you for that, by the way.
I've been saving that one. Alright, so it is time to finally go and beat up that third acolyte. And the exit to the basilica is over to the left here.
So, still more map to discover then?
Yep. Yeah, there's a little bit more map to discover. This is actually right near the map room for downtown when it's a secret exit.
Okay.
It's right in the middle of the floor.
There must be some way to go forward.
Just kidding, we'll do that next video. See you later, Lieutenant. I'll be back in a couple hours.
That way won't take us to the basilica.
Okay, well, see you later anyway.
Please don't tell me he can talk to us from that far away.
I wish he could. So this episode could very easily be subtitled How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love Stolas' Cloak. Because that thing, when combined with certain moves, is absolutely overpowered. The Infinite XP exploit that I mentioned earlier involves going into a specific Kleidos challenge, throwing down Stolas' cloak, and then gathering more XP than it takes to buy back those relics.
Oh, right.
I believe I mentioned that in our private message Discord earlier.
Yep.
Anyway, here's the Somersault Punch for the Chaos Claws.
Slick.
They're okay. We're back in here because there's actually a dungeon key. No, we missed. Also, here are the Flame Claws. When you can actually aim them, they're very good. Check this shit out.
You know what? Yeah, triple sword beams are pretty awesome. Wait, was that triple or quadruple?
Those are triple claws. Quadruple claws.
That's cool. That's very cool.
Anyway, the extra XP cache hidden by a dungeon key is over here. This one I wasn't able to get on the first cleanup video because I didn't have any dungeon keys. It really is quite annoying that you're only able to get them from the Chupacabra store. Or at the very least that, you can't access the store remotely. I also discovered completely by accident that you can remotely temporarily disable the mines that the riot police lay down with the whip.
Interesting.
It has the same effect as just the regular Shadow Dagger, so it only disables them for about 15 seconds. It's pretty useless, but at least it's there.
Handy if you're out of magic for the daggers.
Yeah. So you at least have an option if there's no magic, and for some reason you just don't want to use the Shadow Daggers. Because Shadow Daggers don't require magic to use. They're only on a cooldown timer. Also, speaking of rooms you have to backtrack to, this is where we fought Victor, and there are one or two collectibles in this room, which you cannot access when you fight him for the first time, because if you remember, he has that barrier around.
Right.
So yes, as you can see, Satan soldiers are particularly vulnerable when Stolas' cloak is combined with the sustained whip. Or the sustained sweep, I should say. The challenge that I used for the Infinite XP exploit was Infection First Seal, which has you up against possessed citizens and Satan soldiers. In particular because Satan soldiers are so weak to that combination of relic and move.
Actually get to appreciate this room a little bit.
Yeah. There. That little bit of blood really ties the room together.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a glitch that I will be showing off. It's one of the only glitches I could do consistently. It could slow down your falling speed by rapidly mashing left bumper and right bumper. Here we go.
On the next exciting episode of Dragon Ball Z, we continue powering up.
I think if someone used a scouter on Dracula, it would break. That's what they use in Dragon Ball, right?
Yep.
Did I get it right? Yes, I got it right.
Emergency. User death imminent.
So this is the secret forbidden move known as the Whirlwind. And it drags any minor enemy into its vortex. But that's just the setup. It then unleashes that move. And it will instantly heal you based on that. And it does a bunch of damage. And if you get it right, you can actually restore more magic than it takes to use up the move.
Oh.
Basically, the only disadvantage of that move is if you're doing it on larger enemies, like the big mech. And you can also use it as long as you have at least a sliver of light magic. Like it does basically the damage is somewhat scaled depending on how much magic you have on you, but if you have at least one little sliver of magic on you, you can still use it. Also, this one took a couple tries. It's on a broken portion of the catwalk getting into the that building with the swinging chandeliers in the arts district. I completely missed.
Oh, I think I see where this is going.
Yeah, you can see it right over there.
Yeah, that's kind of an awkward spot.
And the way that the dodo presents that to you, it makes it look as though you have to climb up. And that took a while. There we go. Also, for some reason, during a fight here, this riot mech's body didn't disappear. Usually they explode. But for some reason, this one didn't. I was very perplexed.
It's too bad you can't just jump in and take it for yourself.
Yeah. I guess that would have required too much work. Maybe another couple of months delay. Like, this game was originally supposed to come out winter of 2013. That was in the release date trailer. They released on E3 2013. You know, they said, break the curse, winter 2013, and then it got delayed for another 6 months. So this was supposed to come out holiday season of that year. We're back in the elevators.
This city is just full of nooks and crannies.
Yeah. And it was another cache. Unfortunately, didn't have any keys. So, of course, I had to go all the way back to the Chupacabra shop. So, I wanted to take this opportunity to show something off about the Chupacabra shop. There's a very weird restriction about it. You see those lines on the bottom there?
Yes.
That represents your shopping basket. You have a limit on how many items you can buy at once. Not the quantity of those items, but how many items overall you can buy.
Oh.
Which is very strange. And that includes things like concept art. You can buy concept art for the Chupacabra. Each piece of concept art takes up one of those slots in your shopping basket. See, there's no more room on the counter. And you have to collect your shopping of whatever you bought before you can keep shopping. It just seems like such an arbitrary restriction.
Yeah.
This is why most shops in video games use a menu.
Yeah, they really wanted to make it immersive and just completely crapped all over themselves in the process.
Well, I'm glad I know what shopping in Star Citizen looks like now. I guess.
What do you mean? Star Citizen's never going to come out.
There are playable. It is playable, but with big air quotes.
Yeah, so is Yandere Simulator.
Oh.
Okay, that's not fair to Star Citizen.
There you go.
And every enemy has a unique animation, or like a unique ragdoll properties at least, to the whirlwind, which is nice.
Yeah, that's a pretty nice touch.
I did not bother showing them all off. I'm not that much of a masochist.
Yeah, that sounds like a pain in the ass.
I will not fault Mercury Steam for their attention to detail. I feel like there are other things I can fault them for way easier.
It's very odd attention to detail in very specific, unusual, and sometimes counterproductive ways.
Yeah, there's a reason this game was delayed for 6 months. There's a reason it still shows in some places.
Okay, I'm gonna have to look into my use of proxy files and why, specifically in the fade outs, in the crossfades, why it keeps graying out like that. Because these were not proxy files. This is the full render. Maybe it's something in the newest version of Premiere. I don't know. Anyway, there's that barrier from before. It is mysteriously open now, for no discernible reason.
Other than to hide collectibles!
And it's not even hiding anything important, it's just a pile of sacrifice.
Huh. Why even bother, like, blocking the thing off to begin with?
Okay, so my new theory is that the dodo is just like a magical living balloon that pops as soon as you finish with it. There's no other reason to explain that animation. Also, speaking of lazy animation, check this out.
Oh.
Amazing. Could not be bothered. So much detail in so many other areas, and yet you also get that.
I guess they didn't want to, like, make an animation that starts from theoretically anywhere from under there? I don't know. Or maybe they just ran out of time and decided, okay, you know what? How many people are really going to go through the grate? Let's just not even do that animation.
Yeah, I guess so.
Now I wonder if there's a cut version of that, like, animation in the game's files somewhere.
We will talk about some cut content once we get to the DLC, because there is a decent case to be made that a number of the new mechanics in the DLC are repurposed cut content.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that then, because I loves me some cut content.
although only one of them has been confirmed by the developers. But in hindsight, it seems obvious that at least a few of the areas and mechanics in the DLC are repurposed content. It still manages to work, but it can become obvious in hindsight, I think. So, backtracking through this area was kind of a pain. So first I had to get this pile of sacrifice. There's one collectible after that, though. That was the real problem. I ended up getting it, but I don't think I ever got it in the way that the game intended. You'll see what I mean. So you can see that paint box is right up there at the very top of the area. I spent a long time trying to double jump up there because it's really the only way I could think of getting up there. And I failed several times, which meant every single time I had to do that whole elevator puzzle again.
Every time I want to say
every single time.
Straightforward.
So here's when I eventually got it. Well, I failed once, and this is my successful attempt after that. I'm pretty sure this is not how you're supposed to get it, but it was the only way I could figure it out.
Almost looks like you clipped through that corner, but...
Kinda?
Yeah, I think it was some helpfully bad collision detection there. I have no idea how you're supposed to get it. Anyway, this is the other collectible in Nurgle's office. It's a nice office. Might want to get that clock fixed, though.
Yeah.
Give it some 3D animation, at least.
Yeah, just up the resolution a little bit. It'll be fine. Sad we're not going to hear that too many more times.
So this is a move called Drop and Perforation. This is the death from above move for the Void Sword. It's not particularly useful in the main game, but it's actually pretty fun to use in the DLC. That particular ragdoll animation made it look like those possessed citizens were staring at the sun for too long.
And I wish Adachi's Reckless Charge could pull in enemies like that before he went.
Oh, yeah. Imagine if there was a mini game in this game where Dracula had to go over to the movie theater and try not to fall asleep during Alucard the Vampire.
That mini game is a thing of beauty.
For whatever reason, though, the goats from that mini game remind me of the sheep men from Catherine. What little gameplay I've seen of that.
That was probably intentional. They're both Sega games, after all.
Oh yeah, I forgot that was the Sega game. The other thing I know about Catherine is that for whatever reason, its multiplayer became really popular with the fighting game community for a couple of months. I have no idea why.
It's pretty intense. The funny thing I know about the Catherine multiplayer is that the multiplayer between Vanilla Catherine and Full Body are actually kind of two different beasts, and like Western players prefer, I think, Vanilla Catherine, and Japanese players prefer Full Body.
Of course, there's always some like dumb controversy in the FGC. Even with goddamn Catherine.
I don't even really know if it's controversy. It's just the way the mechanics work out. Like, a certain subset of players prefer one way and others prefer another.
That's why I said a petty and contrived controversy.
Yeah, fine.
I didn't necessarily say it had to be justified. So here's another cool shortcut you could do with the demonic wings. You could jump between the train cars here. Pretty precise timing, but you can pull it off.
Another cache.
Yeah, at this point, this is when those XP caches really started to matter, because I was going for the more expensive moves. I think the most expensive move was somewhere around 15,000 XP.
Oh, joy.
But is it worth it?
Yes, I think so. You'll see. I show off some of the higher end moves later, and they're pretty cool. Very intense animation. So you may remember this area as like one of the really dumb stealth missions where we had to get on the train.
Decontamination hatch activated.
Ah, yes.
You know, in his heart, Dracula is just a really impatient 3-year-old.
At least he's not doing a stomping tantrum or anything.
So this area is... I mean, we saw this area very briefly during the first escort session with the lieutenant, but you don't really get to see anything around it. Also, here's more infrastructure lore.
How Castlevania City got running water.
So basically, modern architects are useless because they have all the formulas they need from thousands of years ago.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we Castlevania City doesn't have any room for any of those weird angular skyscrapers.
No. There was no modern Baroque period or any of that weird shit. No, we're just stick to tradition and we like it that way. What is this gothic nonsense? Get the hell out of here. The dodo, by the way, is pointing out the XP cache that we cannot get because we don't have the key. Thanks, Dodo.
Okay.
Helpful as always. This one's pretty cool.
Like that? They should have done more of that.
Yeah, definitely.
I feel like I've seen that in a Zelda game somewhere.
I feel like there should have at least been one puzzle where you had to ride different currents, like a maze. But then again, they probably would have had to redo the whole mist system to accommodate that.
Probably, yeah.
Just tell me what you need and I'll get it for you, sir.
How about a bigger counter? Where I could fit more than 5 items on the tray at once.
Do you think you could make a menu for us?
How about less annoying loading screens? Oh, that ladder. The start of one of the worst stealth sections. Because this map looked very different before the train pulled out. Anyway, here's a shortcut getting into the Victory Plaza. You just run into the hall and it fades out. It's kind of a cheat, or a cheat on the developer's part, I should say. Also, flame claws absolutely destroy the horned demon. It takes up basically your entire chaos magic bar, but it's worth it.
This is another one of those you're pretty OP by the end of this games.
We're not completely OP yet, but we're getting there. We're on the cusp. So this one could be pretty difficult. Like, look how close I got to getting this double jump here.
Huh, yeah.
That's pretty tight timing. And I'm fairly sure that's how they intend you to do it as well.
It's not the time.
That's Dracula's way of saying, shut up, you idiot. Look with your eyes.
Professor Oak's words ring in your head.
What, stay away from very long grass?
No, now is not the time.
Oh, okay, that one too.
Or there's a time and place for everything. What? Something along those lines.
Or check your Shujimon index. And there we go. That is the very last collectible in the game. Actually, no. There are 3 more collectibles left that we cannot get yet. We have to get to the next area. The next story area to get those. But that's everything we can get for now, which is like 98% of them. So there we go. That was pretty harmless.
That's the last of the collectathons, correct?
Yeah, there's like 3 or 4 collectibles that are in the next story area of the game. But yeah, that's about it.
I'm sad. That means we're winding down here.
Well, we're winding down, but the story is about to wind up.
Any minute now, I'm expecting the story to just like jump on that like rocket again.
It does jump on that rocket, metaphorically speaking. Well, you'll see. Next update is going to be crazy.
Please let Patrick Stewart chew the scenery again. Oh, I need it one more time.